I find it super fascinating that despite all the drama, all the very interesting things that happened yesterday at the Ruto-Raila talks at the Bomas, it has not been captured properly by our media. I wonder why, including one very dramatic moment when co-chair Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka lost it. Now Kalonzo Musyoka is a diplomat, and the truth is, I have never before seen His Excellency, former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, lose it. But I don't blame him. There was a lot of provocation from the Kenya Kwanza side, which, by the way, is all the Kenya Kwanza side is doing at the Bomas. Provoking, heckling, Raila this, Raila that, at the National Dialogue talks. While the other side has Mio, it is not Ruto this, Ruto that. In fact, that name never comes up from the Azimio side. Isn't that interesting? Now don't worry, I'll come back to the Kalonzo issue in a bit. But I like Azimio's approach. They're presenting solid facts. They're doing their homework when they make the presentations. You cannot say the same about Kenya Kwanza. For example, yesterday, an expert from the Azimio side gave us a very interesting insight into how votes were taken from Raila Odinga and given to William Samoei Ruto. And he very convincingly showed us the evidence of that and exactly how it was being done. I guess these are some of the things that provoked Kenya Kwanza into the Raila this, Raila that narrative, which caused Kalonzo to lose it. Very rare of him, but he absolutely lost it. And at one point, he told Hassan Omar something to the effect, "This is why you will never be governor of Mombasa." I have put a link in the description area below where you can take in the entire drama. Hey, I'm telling you. So if you find the time, you can check it out after our show today. Now, I am aware that UDA and Kenya Kwanza are allergic to history, especially when that history paints them in poor light. I'm aware of that. But even with that stand, is it in order for people to display their ignorance? Is it in order for people to launch a shouting match where what they're shouting about at the top of their voices is not factual? Is that in order? I am referring to the issue which emerged yesterday, where somebody from the Azimio team was complaining and saying that there should be a full investigation to look into how Wafula Chebukati became chairman of the IEBC in the first place. Because the interview panel, according to this Azimio member, put Chebukati at second last, second from the bottom, in terms of the way the people who were interviewed scored. You know, the interview process to be commissioner of the IEBC is quite rigorous. People are given scores after careful assessment. Now, Bwana Hassan Omar retorted to that by saying that what Azimio was saying was just a rumor, unsubstantiated. Now. Seriously? I'm sure even some of you remember the interview process in 2016. I believe you can see the assessment scores on your screens right now. And the truth is, Wafula Chebukati indeed scored very low. He actually was third from last with only 63%. While former commissioner at the same interview, Roselyn Akombe, was runners-up with 79% of the score. But she was declared second best. And I agree, and I'm sure most of you will agree, that at some point we need to investigate how Wafula Chebukati became chairman. Especially because at the time when he was appointed chairman, and this is very interesting, at the time when he was appointed chairman, guess who the CEO of the IEBC was? Ezra Chiloba. They come from the same place. They both belong to the Bukusu community in Western Kenya. And so you have chairman, Bukusu, CEO, Bukusu. Hey, what happened to regional balancing? And remember, the IEBC is supposed to be a referee. What kind of picture were we portraying there? And of course, at this juncture, the buck stopped at the then president, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So how did that happen? Yet another mystery that will have to be interrogated at some point in the future. What happened to the people who scored highest in the assessment? At the end of the day, what happened to them? Apart from, of course, Akombe, who did not last long at the IEBC. Are we saying that the people who score lowest are the ones who are most suitable to run the IEBC? Is that what we're saying? Because figures don't lie, and the figures are here before us, and that is what they tell us. What a shame. Shame on us, the nation called Kenya. And so, to sum up what is really happening at Bomas, it seems that we have on one side people who are doing their homework, and then we have on the other side people who are not doing their homework and instead are heckling, which of course is what triggered the drama yesterday at the Bomas. And by the way, quite predictably, UD have come out and said they do not support an audit of the 2022 elections. And of course, this is one of the demands from Azimio. But UDA, get this, UDA support reforms of the IEBC. And the argument, which is very logical from the Azimio side, is that how do you reform the IEBC without first of all understanding what went wrong? And how do you understand what went wrong without fully auditing? What? Without fully auditing the 2022 presidential elections. How do you do that? What are you correcting? What are you reforming? In my opinion, what is happening here is that the Raila Odinga strategy at these talks is now emerging very clearly. And we have discussed that before on this channel. And that strategy is to focus on using the talks as a forum, to give Kenyans, to give the world, to give the public evidence that actually Raila Odinga won the 2022 presidential elections. Now, in case you've not caught my previous video, giving 7 solid facts why it is becoming increasingly clear that yes, Raila won, I suggest that you make time to take it in. Again, there'll be a link in the description area below. And this cannot be good news for Ruto and Kenya Kwanza. It can't. Because amongst other things, it escalates the illegitimacy issues the Ruto administration is suffering. It just makes it worse. And this is politics. The direction where we're headed, so much pressure being pushed by evidence that the administration of William Ruto was not elected by Kenyans. There was vote manipulation. That pressure cannot end with comfort for Ruto as president. There is no way. That's not how politics works. And you can be sure that Ruto handlers will come up with a strategy to counter. They will do everything in their power to try and change the situation. But I don't see how they're going to do it. They are well and truly cornered. And in my opinion, it is only a matter of time before something gives. Okay? And I dare add, for those who are experienced in politics, and for those who are following this keenly, all this suggests that at some point in the very near future, we will have no option as a country but to enforce justice. Who won those elections? Who is president of Kenya? Who is supposed to be president of Kenya? Those are questions we cannot avoid. And those are questions we can never run away from. No matter how fast Kenya Kwanza runs, they cannot outrun what is coming. Time will tell. By the way, have you taken in my latest audiobook titled What Kenyans Will Never Know About Ruto? Have you? If not, I believe you can see details on your screens right now on how you can change that situation. We have not reached anywhere near the 50 we were targeting. But now this offer has to come to an end. So please take advantage of it while it is still there. Only Kenya shillings 1992 or $19.92, and you will get a full year subscription to my weekly intelligence briefings. In other words, purchasing the audiobook will give you a full year subscription for free to my weekly intelligence briefings. Bottom line, it is a good deal. It is a great deal that you should take full advantage of. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.
After the country settled into an uneasy peace post-2008 clashes, the Kenyan intelligence community came up with a plan to ensure that the horror that unfolded in the Rift Valley would never be repeated again. In the eyes of the intelligence community, an operation to deal with the Rift Valley problem would naturally have to start with the dismantling of the political power that Raila Odinga's ODM had in the region at the time. Meanwhile, ODM and Raila Odinga had no idea what had come over Ruto. Indeed, it took them a long time to realize what was happening, and by then it was too late to do anything in response. The big mistake Raila Odinga made with William Ruto was to concede to pressure and adjust the ODM constitution to make room for him at the top. The ODM constitution was changed to make room for 2 deputy party leaders. At the time, Musalia Mudavadi was already second in command, but the extra slot was created specifically for William Ruto. This has to be one of the mistakes Raila still regrets most to this day. Ruto did not rise from the desperate man with bloodshot eyes, always at the jobless corner every lunch hour in the Nairobi CBD at the time, in the 90s, to such a powerful politician by accident. Anybody who underestimates him does so at their own peril. Ruto got his start from the massive amounts of cash that Moi printed in 2002 and which was mainly distributed by the notorious YK92, Youth for KANU 92, of which Ruto was an official. To his credit, he followed this up with other bigger deals, where initially it was always assumed that he had been sent by Gideon Moi, the then president's son. Gideon, of course, had no idea what Ruto was doing.